Have you ever wondered what foods renowned heart surgeons choose to eat every single day after 60, and which ones they never touch? Today, I'm sharing something special with you: the intimate daily habits of three remarkable heart doctors who lived extraordinarily long, healthy lives. Dr. Ellsworth Wareham, who lived to 104, Dr. Michael DeBakey, who thrived until 99, and Dr. Boaria. These weren't just any doctors. They were the very people who held thousands of hearts in their hands throughout their careers. And along the way, they discovered simple secrets to protect their own hearts too. The wonderful news? Their routines are things all of us can do, no matter our age or current health. You'll discover which morning habit that many of us do every day might be silently straining your heart, a simple breakfast change that could add years to your life, and one powerful daily practice that transformed these doctors' health after 60. For those of us in our golden years seeking more energy and better health, this might be the most valuable information you'll hear this year. Before we dive in, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Tell me your city in the comments below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so we can continue this heart-healthy journey together. Picture this: a 95-year-old man performing delicate heart surgery with hands steadier than surgeons decades younger. This was Dr. Ellsworth Wareham, who not only lived to 104, but thrived, driving his car, tending his garden, and living independently well into his late 90s. I was particularly touched by a story his neighbor shared. One day, when Dr. Wareham was 98, the neighbor noticed him on a ladder, trimming tall branches in his yard. Concerned, the neighbor rushed over to help, but Dr. Wareham just smiled and said, "Don't worry, I've been doing this since before you were born." What was his secret? It all started with a moment of clarity when he was 50 years old, an age when many of us think it's too late for meaningful change. "I spent my days opening people's chests," he once explained, with the warmth of a grandfather sharing wisdom. "I could literally see the difference between arteries in people who ate animal products and those who didn't. Some were clean and smooth, others were clogged with plaque. When I saw patients losing toes or feet because of poor circulation, I thought to myself, I don't want that to be me someday." That very week, Dr. Wareham began shifting toward a plant-based diet. Now, I know what you might be thinking. "I've eaten meat my whole life. I can't change now." That's exactly what Dr. Wareham thought too, but he discovered something remarkable that might encourage you. Within just 3 months, he shared, "My taste buds completely changed. Foods I thought I couldn't live without didn't appeal to me anymore, and I started actually craving the foods that made me feel good." His daily meals were refreshingly simple. For breakfast, a big bowl of oatmeal with soy milk, fresh fruit, and a handful of nuts. For dinner, always finished by 4 p.m., beans, colorful vegetables, and more nuts, especially walnuts, which we now know help reduce inflammation in our blood vessels. Do you remember how different our American diet was back in the 1950s and 60s? Dr. Wareham noticed something fascinating during his career performing heart surgeries across Asia. In countries where people ate mostly plant foods, he observed, we rarely saw the clogged arteries so common back home. We mainly treated congenital heart defects, not the lifestyle diseases filling American hospitals. Now, I want to be clear about something important. You don't need to make dramatic overnight changes. Dr. Wareham suggested that those of us over 60 can transform our health by gradually replacing some animal products with plant foods. Start with just 1 meal a day, he advised. Perhaps breakfast. Try oatmeal with fruit instead of eggs and bacon a few days a week. After about 3 months, you'll notice your preferences actually changing. Your body will begin craving what makes it feel good. I remember meeting Martha, a 73-year-old viewer who wrote to me after trying this approach. "I was skeptical," she admitted. "I've been eating the same breakfast for 40 years. But my cholesterol was high, so I decided to try oatmeal with berries 3 days a week. Within 2 months, my doctor reduced my medication, and I actually found myself looking forward to my oatmeal mornings. I never thought that could happen at my age. Modern science has caught up with Dr. Wareham's observations. A recent study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that adults over 65 who ate more plant proteins had a 28% lower risk of heart failure than those consuming mainly animal proteins. What about you? Could you try replacing just one meal a week with a more plant-based option? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear which meal would be easiest for you to change. While Dr. Wareham focused on what we eat, our second heart hero, Dr. Michael DeBakey, believed the secret to a strong heart after 60 was found in when we rise and how we handle stress. If you've ever had heart surgery or know someone who has, you've benefited from Dr. DeBakey's work. This remarkable surgeon performed over 60,000 heart operations and invented devices that save lives to this day. And he remained sharp and active until age 99. Every morning at 4 a.m., when most of us are deep in dreamland, DeBakey was already up and moving. "The quiet morning hours are precious gifts," he would tell his older patients with a twinkle in his eye. "Your mind is clear, the world is peaceful, and how you spend this time sets the tone for your entire day." His morning routine wasn't complicated or strenuous. He did 15 simple pull-ups, squats, and bends, not to build muscle, but to gently wake up his circulation. As he explained to a patient in her 70s, "These aren't exercises to make you tired. They're gentle movements to wake up your vessels and prepare your heart for the day ahead, like warming up a car engine before driving." After his brief workout, DeBakey would walk to work, a habit he kept well into his 90s. This wasn't power walking or anything that left him breathless. It was steady, purposeful movement that gently elevated his heart rate without strain. I'm reminded of Robert, a 78-year-old former patient of DeBakey's who shared this story with me. "I told Dr. DeBakey I was too old to exercise. He looked at me and said, 'I'm 91, and I walked here today.' How old do you need to be?" That conversation changed my life. I started with just walking to my mailbox, then to the corner, and now I walk a mile every morning. My heart is stronger at 78 than it was at 65. When it came to food, DeBakey eliminated 2 things completely: butter and fatty meats. "Cutting out butter alone could add several years to your heart's life," he would say. Instead of frying foods, he baked or steamed them, always with a generous portion of vegetables. One of his most unusual habits, and one that might be particularly helpful for those of us over 60, was splitting dinner into 2 parts. He'd eat half in the evening and save the rest for breakfast. This simple practice helps maintain stable blood sugar levels, which research now shows is crucial for heart health as we age. But DeBakey's most important insight came after decades of treating heart patients. The main enemy of your heart isn't cholesterol, it's stress. He noticed that many heart attacks in his older patients occurred after periods of intense emotional strain. For those of us dealing with the stresses that come with aging, health concerns, family worries, or financial pressures, DeBakey recommended finding joy rather than escape. Instead of reaching for strong drinks, which he warned could trigger heart problems, he suggested theater visits, nature walks, or swimming. DeBakey himself managed stress by watching comedy films. He believed that laughter literally healed the heart, a concept now supported by research showing that laughter reduces stress hormones and increases beneficial HDL cholesterol. "The worst thing for a senior's heart is boredom," DeBakey often said. Stay active, stay engaged, and never stop finding purpose in your life. When an active person suddenly stops at retirement, that's when heart problems often appear. Do you have a favorite stress relief activity that keeps your heart happy? Is it gardening, spending time with grandchildren, or perhaps a hobby? Share it in the comments. Your experience might help someone else find their joy. Our third heart expert, Dr. Boaria, had a beautiful way of thinking about heart health. He saw it as a complete system where everything we do either creates harmony or discord. His approach centered on a concept he lovingly called living 2 days in one. Perfect for those of us in our golden years who want to make the most of each day. Most people over 60 think they need less activity as they age, Dr. Boaria would say with a gentle smile. But that's exactly backward. Your heart actually needs more consistent movement and purpose to stay strong as you age. His 2 days in one concept started with early rising, usually between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Those who rise early essentially live 2 days in one, he would explain. You gain beautiful, energizing hours that most people sleep through. I remember meeting Eleanor, age 82, who adopted this habit after watching our previous video. I was always a night owl, she told me. But at my age, I wasn't doing anything meaningful after 9 p.m., just watching TV. I decided to try going to bed at 10 and getting up at 6. Within a week, I felt like I discovered extra hours in my day. I now have a peaceful morning routine that includes watching the sunrise, something I hadn't done in decades. It's become the highlight of my day. But Dr. Boaria emphasized something important that many early rising advocates miss. This only works with adequate sleep. For those of us whose sleep patterns change with age, he recommended going to bed between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock p.m. Without proper rest, he cautioned, early mornings become a burden rather than a blessing. One of Boaria's simplest yet most powerful recommendations was his morning water ritual. Keep a glass of water by your bed, he advised, and drink it immediately upon waking, before your feet even touch the floor. This gentle habit, he explained, awakens circulation, rehydrates your body after hours without water, and prepares your digestive system for breakfast. Speaking of breakfast, Boaria warned against what he considered the most damaging morning ritual for aging hearts: coffee on an empty stomach. Coffee without food significantly increases the risk of heart events, especially as we age, he explained. It spikes your stress hormones when your body is most vulnerable. Instead, he recommended a nourishing breakfast including oatmeal for stable blood sugar, high-quality butter and eggs for essential fats and proteins, and fresh fruits for antioxidants that protect aging blood vessels. For those of us with arthritis or limited mobility, Boaria had encouraging news about exercise. Even 5 minutes of gentle morning movement is enough to wake up your circulation. Simple stretches for your neck, arms, legs, and torso prepare your body for the day and signal to your brain that it's time to be active. Perhaps his most unusual recommendation was what he called the mirror ritual. After morning water and gentle stretching, Boaria suggested looking in the mirror and giving yourself a genuine smile. This isn't about vanity, he explained warmly. It's a powerful psychological tool. When you smile, even if you don't feel like it, your brain releases hormones that reduce stress and boost your mood. This simple act sets a positive tone for your entire day. For those of us concerned about heart health, Boaria also recommended dark chocolate with 90% cocoa content. Modern research confirms his insight. Studies show that the flavonols in dark chocolate help improve blood flow and may lower blood pressure, particularly beneficial for those over 60. I'd love to know, have you tried starting your day with water instead of coffee? Or have you experimented with dark chocolate as a heart-healthy treat? Share your experience in the comments. Despite their different approaches, these three long-lived heart surgeons shared several key beliefs about maintaining heart health after 60. Understanding these common threads gives us a practical blueprint for healthy aging. First, all three emphasized gentle, consistent movement throughout the day rather than intense exercise. Whether it was DeBakey's morning stretches, Wareham's gardening, or Boaria's walking, they all believed that regular, moderate movement was far more beneficial for seniors than occasional strenuous workouts. This reminds me of Tom, a 75-year-old viewer who shared, "I thought I needed to join a gym to help my heart, but after 3 injuries in 2 months, I was ready to give up. Then I heard about Dr. Wareham's approach. I started simply walking around my neighborhood after breakfast and again after dinner. My blood pressure dropped 15 points in just 6 weeks, and I actually enjoy it." Second, all 3 doctors practiced some form of time-restricted eating. Wareham finished his last meal by 4 p.m., DeBakey split his dinner to regulate blood sugar, and Boaria emphasized a substantial breakfast with lighter evening meals. Modern research supports this approach. A recent study found that older adults who confined their eating to a 10 to 12-hour window showed significant improvements in heart health markers. Third, these surgeons believed in the power of consistent routine. They didn't just eat well or exercise occasionally, they created daily habits that became second nature. For those of us over 60, this consistency creates stability for both body and mind. Now, I know many of you are thinking, but what about my medications? My arthritis? My budget? These are valid concerns, and I want to address them. If you take medications that require food, you can still adopt the morning water ritual. Just have your water, then take your medication with a small bite of food, then continue with your morning routine. If mobility issues prevent traditional exercise, focus on gentle seated movements that still activate circulation. Even moving your arms in circles while sitting helps blood flow. Many of us worry about the cost of eating healthier. Remember that Dr. Wareham's diet centered on affordable staples like beans, oats, and seasonal fruits. Frozen vegetables and fruits offer the same nutritional benefits as fresh ones at a fraction of the cost. As my friend Grace, age 79, says, "A bag of beans and a bag of oatmeal cost less than 1 fast food meal, and they last all week." As we wrap up today's journey through the lives of these remarkable heart surgeons, I want you to remember something important. Their longevity wasn't the result of superhuman discipline or lucky genes. It came from simple, consistent habits maintained over time. If you take just one idea from our time together today, let it be this: it's never too late to strengthen your heart. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, your body responds to positive changes. Start with the habit that seems most manageable for you, perhaps the morning water ritual or adding a 5-minute stretching routine to your day. Next week, I'll be sharing the specific foods these same surgeons recommended for brain health and memory protection as we age. You won't want to miss these insights, so make sure you're subscribed and tap the notification bell. Your golden years truly can be golden, filled with energy, purpose, and health. These heart surgeons didn't just extend their lives, they enhanced the quality of each day. You deserve nothing less. Before you go, I have a question for you. Which one of these heart-healthy habits will you try this week? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found these insights valuable, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend or family member who might benefit. Until next time, here's to your heart health and happiness. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you.